What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Lots. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Gotta say, gambling space is a weird place. I gotta say, there's some strange messages you get from time to time. I wish you could see my inbox, my DMs. I don't even know why I have my DMs open on everything. It's just terrifying from time to time. The amount of messages I got when we went to the bottom of the third, 0-0 for Houston, Oakland. Baseball is large range of outcomes stuff. We are generally trying to find small edges and mine it out over a long period of time. And it would appear from the outside, oh, Eric, it's really, really hot from time to time. Well, yeah, sometimes I'm seeing the board really well. Sometimes the plays just kind of like make themselves. I'm kind of a no-baller. Like, I know ball to a certain extent in all the sports that I cover, but it comes down to math and trying to give you guys the best advantage to be able to win long-term. And it's kind of a bummer when, you have a really good play that now is looking like it's in the driver's seat heading into the fifth inning, 8-0 Astros. I need one run the rest of the way. Mason Miller can't appear in the game, sitting there on the live line at 12.5, 13.5. It's just a bummer when all of the air gets taken out of the sails, even on a profitable day. So you can say what you want about me, but the effort is there. 15 games, 3 of the days this week. I give you a lean like lock, and that is simply to give you the confidence scale, because I hate it when people just give you plays for 15 games and give no units attached to it. Don't post betting tickets. Don't show you that they are playing and invested the same way that I am. It just drives me to no end. So hopefully you appreciate that I'm not that person. I'm going to fly through these plays today. I don't have any locks on the card right now for Friday, but I have a ton of plays, ton of props too, because these come out earlier with only a couple of games on Thursday. Teams traveling, showing up on Friday, and we get the props ahead of time. So that's always nice for me. But anywho, don't mean to just bring down the mood right from the get-go here on the video, because I'm a happy-go-lucky person. I sing and dance and do all this weird shit from time to time, but I work really hard for you. If you appreciate that, just hit the like button for me and be respectful. I try to be respectful. I'm playful from time to time. Obviously, I'll throw out F you and an F you, and who cares about that? If you want to talk shit correctly, that's fine, but got a little extreme from time to time, and I'm not the only person. It's a lot of people in the gambling space, so I'm not alone, and that is the end of my diatribe there to start off this program. Anywho, we got BetMGM. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about Odd Chopper, but we got 15 games on the docket, everybody in play, and producer Jacob, he's ready to rock. I'm feeling good about my Timberwolves here after that first half, that's for sure. Going to be recording this here and getting the heck up out of here. Let's get to the picks. Game number 1 said we were looking forward to this one, and it's weird because I was pretty heavily on the under for Paul Skeens in a couple of spots. There's 7.5 opening number against the Cubs, and he hit it just ever so slightly. 4 innings pitched there. Felt like one of those spots that could kind of go anyway. I think it was 6.5 there at the close, but we are showing up with a 6.5 year rate from the get-go on his strikeout stuff, and he's obviously one of the most illustrious picks. Kyle Hendricks was good once upon a time. This is not once upon a time, friends. He's good at reducing hard hits to some extent. 302 expected batting average, 385 xWOBA is not good though. So overall, don't really have anything I want to cover here. I think these are pretty efficient numbers. 7.5. It's a lot of respect, I suppose, but Pittsburgh, we know at this point in time, not the greatest offense that ever crossed these here lands. Pittsburgh dead last in WRC plus against right-handed pitching. So Kyle Hendricks, I think he's actually okay here in this spot. Pittsburgh and Milwaukee, that whole series still tilts me this week. But Paul Skeens, this guy's incredible. His girlfriend's incredible. 60% hard hit, not great there in his first outing in the big leagues, but you go to his AAA stuff, awesome. And the main thing that you wanted to see was hey, how does the breaking stuff work at the big league level? Let me just tell you, in that first outing against Chicago, I'm not going to tell you a ton. There was rain in the forecast, and it's kind of a quick ramp up for him. Got to 84 pitches, always nifty, but this guy is going to be much better than the 7.81 expected ERA, and the strikeout stuff I think is going to be there right from the get-go. I think 6.5 is just kind of a spot I just got to be on the over here. Wind is blowing in at Wrigley here as well. It is a dangerous lineup to a certain extent, but I think you got to be invested here in Paul Skeens because I love the stuff. You look at his breaking stuff in that first outing. Oh yeah, he hits 100 on the gun every time, and it's effortless. So one of the top pitching prospects in the last however many years, one of the most touted in probably a decade. We like the over of 6.5 for this one. It's going to be a public number, so get in quick. There's going to be people betting overs there. Said I have a ton of likes, and obviously, if you watch this program, leans, those are things I'm thinking about betting, or we don't have odds for. Lots of things that can fall into the lean category. I try to give you context in the prop department for them. A couple of lean props that exist here on this one, a couple of like props that exist on this one as well. Nice to have the numbers out early for me, but likes, they swept the board Tuesday, Wednesday, meh, Thursday, looking all right here so far, and obviously if we can get one more run there, it's 8-0 going to the middle of the sixth. One more run for either Oakland or Houston, that would be nice and make me feel better about my day and not give me so much hate. But anyway, Washington, Philly, and Zach Wheeler is very, very good at the pitching and the baseballs, but we're talking about a 150-cent discount going to the run line. Again, it's not a discount. You have to buy the run, and Philly, you have to deal with the running indifference and all of the other stuff that comes with it. Again, it is it's always dicey. It's always dicey when you talk about, a situation where a team gets 8 innings and you're going to back them on the run line. But I really don't care when it's Zach Wheeler on one side and Jake Irvin on the other. Do you? You shouldn't. Wheeler is just exponentially better at this point in time. I know there's not a ton of strikeout stuff that exists there on the Washington side, but that's more than made up for. But the fact that Jake Irvin with his 47% hard hit and 491 expected slugging is just terrible, no good, very bad, and has to face Harper and Schwarber. So good luck to him there. Look at those home run numbers. They're going to be inflated out the wazoo. So, and 7.5, all by way of Philly. I'll just back them on the run line. I'm also going to take a look at Zach Wheeler. Again, this was at half unit there. Waiting for some win props. We saw minus 120. I actually preferred the plus 105 things when you start looking. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about the Dodgers spot, but the glass now. Went back and forth with somebody the other day there. Again, Zach Wheeler, I want to look at his win props there, but it always depends because it's margin. I said I was going to speed this up. We're going to speed this up. Got nothing here. Mike Clevenger, Nestor Cortes. Nestor Cortes has been very, very good. And the Yankees just walloped my Twins at Target Field for a 3-game set. 1 run, I think, for my Twins in 3 days. Good job. Good effort, guys. But Mike Clevenger, once upon a time, pretty good there in Cleveland. Not so good here in a White Sox uniform. And Nestor Cortes, we're starting to see it ramp up here. 271 xWOBA, 216 expected batting average. I think the Yankees run line here is kind of intriguing, but the White Sox, they're not the stone cold nuts worst in the entire league. I don't know. Colorado's won infinity games in a row now. I don't know what to believe anymore. Up is down, left is Yankees minus 1.5, but I prefer the Philly one with Wheeler as opposed to Cortes, where it's a little bit dicier. We got both pitchers here. We don't have odds, but I suppose there's something that we can break down. I said I got some leans in terms of hitter props, and I think these are going to be back-to-back. We're going to be doing 2+ bases for 2 guys that I think are going to be pretty, not undervalued because Gunnar Henderson's been awesome this season, but what happens when you get some of these pitchers from Seattle out of the most pitcher-friendly ballpark in baseball up there in T-Mobile in Seattle is you have to deal with other ballparks. And lefty power, and lefties in general, still play up there in Baltimore, whereas the righties, they have to deal with that massive cavern that exists now out to left field as they raise that wall. But Bryce Miller, 44.4% hard hit. Not great. 433 expected slugging, really bad. 13.7% barrel percentage. I think 2+ bases and home run plays are things I want to be paying attention to. But the reason the home run plays isn't there is it generally has been juiced to a place where it's just moving up to like the plus 320, plus 340 range here in some of these for Henderson. It's a little bit too much for my liking with a 512 expected slugging. He does have that 54.7% hard hit, but just 11.6 degree average launch angle. He's making really hard contact. I love what he's done in the early going of this season. And 12 homers, who can dispute it? I get why the books have shorted a lot of his numbers. So I'm looking at the 2+ bases. Again, I always look at the historical data. I'm looking at the last 10 games, and I'm looking at the last 30 games that they've played and seeing where those odds line up. I think 1.5 total bases, very much in play for Gunnar. Going to be close to even money, maybe the minus 110 side of things. Just fine with adding it to the card. Right a day after I talk him up and say, oh, he's looking so good, it's great, I don't end up betting him on Thursday, and he goes, yet again. We've got the Rays. We've got Toronto now. They leave the Red Sox series, and once you know it, Josh Lowe. Yes, you got Brandon Lau and Josh Lowe. They are 2 different human beings, same last name, but said differently. Josh Lowe wants to remind everybody of that fact, but he's back in the mix here, and he's a lefty with serious power, 50% hard hit, 539 expected slugging in 26 batted ball events so far this season. And he gets to face Chris Bassett in Toronto with the 9th inning bump and all of that goodness. 279 expected batting average, 352 xWOBA. Don't love the Toronto bullpen either. This team is kind of flailing at the early going of the season. AL East is a gauntlet, man. Yankees are playing real ball. Baltimore's playing real ball. It is difficult there for Tampa and Toronto this time around. Last season, one of the darlings. And Tampa's going to continue to be good, even in a small market, because they are very smart and probably some of the smarter front office guys in all of baseball. Josh Lowe fits really nicely on this team. Platoon advantage. Again, injuries have not exactly been kind to the Rays here. Brandon Lau, still waiting for him to get back. At some point in time, we'll see him, right? No, probably not. Anyway, we got Chris Bassett. We're going to attack him here. Josh Lowe, 2+ bases. God, I think that's like the first time I've ever gotten those names correct the entire segment. Go me. And go Odd Shopper, OS Premium Tools Discord Insider Access, $14.95 weekly. If you use promo code Lindy, though, down at the link below, 20% off. That's awesome stuff. So you get the expert picks. That is my betting card every single Monday through Friday in the MLB streets. That is the Discord. So not just myself, but the other insiders, Isaiah Suarez, my guy Nathan Joyce, everybody you know and love, Ben Raza, of course, in the soccer streets, the college streets. You want to follow him in all the streets. He bets all of the things, and he's better at it than any of us. But all in one package, friends, 20% off, promo code Lindy. Back to the picks we go. God, so many likes on the card. Here's another. Minnesota and Cleveland. I get a key number of 8 with 2 pitchers I really don't believe in here at this point in time. Yes, my Minnesota Twins with Woods Richardson on the mound. Really good stuff from Simeon Woods Richardson so far to some extent. 22.1% K rate, 5.8% walk rate, but 45.3% hard hit, giving up some power to some of these lefties. And once you know it, feel like I've had Josh Naylor on the betting card nonstop ad nauseum, and it's gone very, very well. So we like him very much. And Jose Ramirez heard he's pretty good. He's going to have some positive regression to the homers here too. But Tristan McKenzie, riding to church where his wedding has been. It's in her dream. That's Eleanor Rigby, Beatles stuff. 13.6% walk rate, sub 20% K rate. Had some elite K stuff once upon a time, but he's talking about how his elbow is basically screwed up and he's going to pitch through it. What a silly dude. But I don't know. Make that money. Do what you got to do, son. Just going to have to bet against you. Yes, my Twins had a very terrible series going up against the Yankees, but still sitting league average-ish, 102 WRC plus, so a little bit better than league average against right-handed pitching. I think this is good enough here to just fire up both teams here. I like the lefties in the Cleveland lineup at the top of it for sure. Naylor. I mean, combo, it's fun to say. Anywho, we like more over 8, half unit, easy play. Let's do it again, shall we? Another like coming up. METS, Mets. Did they end up losing? Nope, it is 6-4. They ended up going to the bottom of the 11th here now. That is a wild run out here. We'll see how that game ends up finishing up. Oh, we're at the top of the 7th there. Toro leadoff double. Can we just get the 1 run across and just end that thing, please? But we've got Jesus Luzardo pitching for Miami in this spot. He's had a really, really downtrodden season, that is for sure. All of his advanced analytics across the board outside of the K rate, 26.3%, been bad. 449 expected slugging, 336 xWOBA. Again, that's expected weighted on base average. Every time I throw that out there, hey, 336 is a big, big number. You don't want that. And then a 14.3% barrel percentage is just terrifying. As for Christian Scott, really good stuff in these first couple of outings. Again, 33 batted ball events, giving up like no barrels. 1 barrel in 33 batted ball events for the youngling. Now, he's kind of an unheralded rookie. He was a 5th rounder, but had some good stuff in AAA. I like the 4-seamer hitting 95, 96 on the gun pretty routinely. And you go into his minor stuff with the Syracuse Mets, real original team name, guys. 0.71 whip and just kind of went deep into games. Pretty good stuff. Did have a power problem in AAA. Hasn't really shown up, and it's in Miami a pretty good spot to be pitching if you've got strikeout stuff like Scott does. So I think the money line for the Yankees here in the minus 125 range, very doable. I think you should have it on the card.
You said Yankees.
I didn't mean Yankees. I meant Mets. It was the Mets talking about New York. Jacob, thank you, producer Jacob, the voice of God. You know what? Screw it. Let's talk about MGM. Good thing we got producer Jacob here. First bet safety net up to $1,500. Get your bonus bets if your first bet loses. What does it all mean, Basil? Well, it means if you haven't signed up for BetMGM, you go to the link below. You simply click on it. You sign up, deposit, do all those things. Takes you like 2 minutes to sign up at BetMGM. And then when you make a bet, doesn't matter if it's $25, $50, $75. Sharif Fitty, actually, that was an old South Park thing. But anyway, up to $1,500. You can fire it up, friends. And if it loses, you get it back in bonus bets. That's a huge swing opportunity for you over at BetMGM. Only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. San Diego and Atlanta. Hot Atlanta here, and not going to be all that hot down there for the first pitch. But anyway, Waldron on the mound, Fried on the other side. I like one pitcher more than the other. Let you guess on which one it is. Yeah. Matt Waldron. Makes me think of Matt Damon. Now I want to watch Team America. Yeah. 448 expected slugging, 334 xWOBA, but not great stuff. Max Fried, really great stuff. 1.7 degree average launch angle, 63.2% ground ball percentage, and just beautiful things all the way around. Got to feel pretty good about Max Fried here. I think under 2.5 earned runs. That, my friends, that is where I want to be going. And with that, again, that's a lean. I doubt it's going to end up being 1.5, but I just wanted to throw out there that it's 8-1. We cashed the over. Lock hits. Thank God. Just be kind to people. Oakland and Kansas City up next here, and we don't have a confirmed starter on the Oakland side. I think it ends up being Alex Wood. That is what we have there in the top bar. So look at that. Producer Jacob, I didn't even tell him about that, and yet he knew. He's smart like that. But anyway, Alex Wood, I'm going to be waiting on that side of things, but I just want to point out that Cole Reagans, we have been backing him a lot. We have been taking K-ladders to the window, to the wow, to the sweat drop down, but it's not going to be all that humid in Kansas City, and it's not quite in the swamp. We're not quite in that territory yet. It's coming. It is definitely coming at Kauffman Stadium. But Cole Reagans, friends, he gets an Oakland matchup that is obviously very good for strikeouts based on what we just saw with Christian Javier, who just nuked everything there. 24.8% K rate, though. Obviously different handedness than Christian Javier, but 24.8% K rate for Oakland against left-handed pitching so far this season. And wouldn't you know it, Reagans has some of that best lefty stuff. 27.3% K rate. Went through some of his pitch mix. I'm just overly impressed with this guy. He's so good. Don't have any idea how he got to just walk out of Texas without being chained down, but again, willingly allowed. Just insanity to me. So shout out Kansas City. They got themselves a real one. Wanted to try something cool. I'm going to see how producer Jacob fired this up here. Cole Reagans ladder. There's a cute little baby ladder. Look at that. 6 to 9 Ks. I had the plus sitting there next to it before, and I was like, I think 6 is probably on the low end. It's probably going to end up being 7 through 9 Ks if I had to guess, because 6.5 is probably going to be juiced once it shows up here. It's Oakland after all, but I'm just throwing it out there. There is nothing that could stop me from betting Cole Reagans a K ladder tomorrow. And the cute little baby emoji just proves it. Aw. This is more of a shout out than it is like I have no idea what the opening number is going to be here in Arlington, but we've got the Angels, we've got Texas, we've got Tyler Anderson, we've got Andrew Heaney, a couple of southpaws. Heaney gets by generally off of strikeout stuff, and then you generally see Anderson get by on weak hard hit stuff. So it is a downgrade for some of the Texas hitters that you might want to be utilizing against lefties, like Mr. Anderson. Well, he's the one pitching. Adolis Garcia. Yes, he's there. Corey Seager left on left. We'll see if left on left crime looks good there. Marcus Semien, 302 expected batting average. I'll take a look at all of these hitting props going up against Tyler Anderson, but this is a shout out to Logan O'Hoppe. I don't know what happened to the catcher position. This was one of the weakest in baseball, and all of a sudden, everybody has power here. 49% hard hit, 441 expected slugging. It's definitely an up position between him, Ryan Jeffers, Soderstrom, lots of people, lots of things. I don't know how you can get away from a Logan O'Hoppe at better than plus 440. That's my break-even number on it. I'm sticking to it. I think you got to bet it if we get that. Ninth inning bump. Again, road team. Tiny little bit of an upgrade if you were at home. Well, again, it's 3 different batters that have to go to the plate. It is what it is. Saved one catcher for this segment here. Freddie Peralta, Hunter Brown, and we'll start with Freddie. Fastball Freddie, 6.5 is opening K prop. Got all of the props from this game. That's useful because we're going to bet one of them. But I am definitely a fan of Freddie Peralta. Fastball Freddie, you should be too. 34% hard hit, 31.9% K rate. It's really, really nice. But Hunter Brown, not very good, friends. 41.7% hard hit, 333 XWell, but don't know why I was just doing like the Jar Jar Binks there, but it is what it is. 272 expected batting average. Everything is awful. Everything is not cool when you're part of the team. Houston, Ben in the dweller, even though they're up 8-1 here and they cashed our over and we're happy about that. Just throwing it out there. William Contreras, over 2.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs is plus 115 on DK. Now, obviously, a home run covers all of that immediately. A hit and a run, not quite there, but Contreras, 9th inning bump. Hunter Brown, terrible. They have used up. I want to just see some of the bullpen usage. Obviously, they're going to be able to save Abreu. They've used Dubin because, Krishna Javier went 6 innings there, but Josh Hader will be on ice there. Probably don't want to be utilizing him against a righty like Contreras. Probably bring him in after the fact if you've got like Wilyer Abreu. Well, they have Romano. They've got a couple of guys. Yeah, look at that. Bullpen analysis coming your way. But bet this one. Okay, plus 115 at DK. You might even get a little bit better. BetMGM still yet to open up their numbers. Really like this play. If I had to have like my favorite prop out of everything that I've thrown out so far that we have numbers for, I haven't seen the Cole Reagan's number yet, but this is probably it. Boston at St. Louis. We got Brian Bayo. He's not the one, ironically enough. This is a pitcher that I've backed a lot in my day, and my day is literally today and like all of the days. Again, life is short, friends. Enjoy it. We've got Brian Bayo, 402 expected slugging, just a 20.9% K rate, but the ground ball rate starting to trail up. 51.1% is still really, really good, but it's different from 56.3% he was at last season. Might be a small sample size issue, but for the most part, just saying. Anyway, Kyle Gibson, yucky. 30.66 XWO, but 43.2% hard hit, 19.9% K rate, and yet I get juiced towards the under of 4.5 Ks here, plus 125 at DK at open. Bet, like auto bet. What am I even looking at? I don't understand this line in any way, shape, or form. Boston, 24.8% K rate, but and that's against righties. 24.8% K rate, but Kyle Gibson has no strikeout stuff. He is in a world of hurt in this spot. Detroit at Arizona, Tariq Skubal, Ryan Nelson. Again, Skubal, they're taking the money. This number flipped very, very quickly from open. Not that it flipped as in like, Detroit was always favored, but minus 155 moved to like minus 140, now buoyed back up. And it's just been all over the place here already in like 3 hours. But anyway, Ryan Nelson isn't very good, but this is pretty reflective of like the disparity between two lineups. And, Detroit against righties, they've been striking out a lot, 24.5% K rate, 92 WRC plus isn't exactly ideal. I want to back Skubal. I wish, but again, this is an Arizona team that has just destroyed the face of lefties. Second in baseball, just a 17.7% K rate. This is a sneaky tough spot for Skubal, and I don't think it's really reflected in the line. I would be on the Arizona side if I really, 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 really had to at the current numbers. It's Detroit money line that I have on the sheet. I hate it. I mean, I might have to go against the data. Don't go against the data. It's written as a lean for a reason here. Detroit money line, but I got to say, 18 cents is a big enough difference where, again, minus 155. I'm looking at the live numbers as they change on my spreadsheet. It's now saying Arizona money line becoming like the lean. It's almost in the green. I don't even know what to believe anymore. Again, 18 cents is a drastic difference. If you're thinking like minus 110, it basically would flip the line. Nobody cares. Cool. Next game. Care about this one, though. Frankie Montas and James Paxton going to be like low 60s at first pitch here. And Marine Layer looks as though it's going to be gone there. It's been pretty darn hazy for the people in LA. But Frankie Montas, James Paxton, just throwing it out there. One of those spots where both pitchers should suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. To die, to sleep no more. Makes me think of Shakespeare and Billy Madison. Happy Gilmore, too, going to be great. But Frankie Montas, I was waiting for this to update, as you could tell. I was stalling. 18.2% K rate, 331 xWOBA. Not good. James Paxton, horrible. 13.7% K rate, 14.9% walk rate. I would never back the Dodgers at minus 218 with James Paxton. Not in a million years, unless you got in a time machine, went back 5 years, put Paxton in blue there. It's supposed to being on the Mariners or the Red Sox or wherever the hell he's been. James Paxton, friends, do not bet him at minus 218. This would be a sincere pass, and I'm not going to bet Cincy. So over 8.5, that's the play for me. Give me all the offense and all the land. Moving on. And we go out with a whimper. Ryan Feltner, Kyle Harrison, both pretty serviceable pitchers, and yet over 7.5. That is going to end up being the lead in here. We got Harrison. This Colorado team is just playing good baseball now. What? They swept the Padres? What are we doing? Swept the Rangers? What are we doing? I have nothing from this game. It's pretty darn efficient. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for Friday. Again, have a great weekend, everybody. I'll be back with you on Monday, per usual. If you have questions in that premium Discord, Sunday I'll for sure be hanging out there, especially if my Timberwolves have a Game 7. I don't even know. I haven't even looked at the score here. Can watch that whole entire first half, and then, we're happy. Producer Jacob said we're happy. Good, because I have it on pause. Just be nice to everybody this weekend, everybody. Thank you, Producer Jacob. Per usual, another week in the books here on Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Yeah, it was pretty flat line there to start off, that's for sure. Thursday looking like it's going to be okay, so that makes me feel better. Got the lock across the board. Let's get out of here. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Friday.